Hi, people. It's a good day that the Lord has made, and we are rejoicing in this day. And my name's Teresa Wanjiko. And Teresa Wanjiko is a mother and a married woman. Wanjiko is also a cancer survivor. And I'm going to share with you a story, my real life story, and my personal experience. I was living a normal life, just like any other mother, doing the family duties, taking care of her family, working every day. And I thought that that is very normal and nothing could break this normality. But one day in year 2016, around March, I was just doing my self-test on my breasts. And in the process of doing my self-test, I came across a lump which was on my right breast. And I decided it was a choke. In the first place, it was a choke. But I decided, let me give it a week and see if there will be any change. And I remember telling my hubby that there's something on my right breast, and we agreed, let us give it a week. If it has not, it will not have disappeared, then we take the next step. It was there, stuck, that whole week. Remember, it's not painful, so it was not very alarming. And a week went on, it was still there. What I did, I went to work. I requested for some days, about a whole week, and that is when I decided to go to the hospital. When I went to the hospital, I went to the physician casualty, and I saw the physician, and the physician, when he touched it, he felt it. So from there, he sent me for mammogram. A mammogram got the picture very well because you could not even see the size and the location of this lump. But it was not yet, it was not concluded yet up to that point. By showing it is there, the doctor told me we cannot conclude here. We don't know what kind of a lump this is. And that is when he sent me for the biopsy, guided by ultrasound. And when I went for biopsy, uh, it was also a horror because somebody telling you, I'll pick as a piece of your a piece of that ramp, and take it to the lab. And it's something that I have not gone through before. It was not easy for me, but I found good nurse who did the procedure very well. It was not painful, and I went through it successfully. Now it was time for me to wait for the results. So I stayed about a week. The results were not out. I went to check once. The results were not out. But the second time I went, the results were out. So I went to the doctor's room so that he could tell me, so that he could give me my results. At that time, I was like 50-50. What could this be? What is it? Just praying. You don't, because you don't know what the doctor will say. And when I went into his office, in fact, he didn't ask me anything. He didn't ask me, are you alone? He didn't tell anyone to cancel me, but he just broke the news. You have cancer. I didn't know what to do. It was the darkest part of my life. I became so confused. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know whom to talk to. And unfortunately, my husband that day he was working out of Nairobi, so I just happened to be alone in the hospital. So uh, and then the doctor concluded by telling me, now what you'll do, come on such a day after 1 week, and come with your husband so that we can decide the next procedure. And so he released me, yet he didn't ask me, are you with someone? How, or did he even try to study how the news affected me? So I went out of his office, and I was so confused. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know whether to call my family. I didn't know whether to leave the place and just go home. I didn't know whom to talk to. I just saw darkness, a lot of confusion. But when I was studying outside the doctor's office, outside his compound, I I saw the chapel, the hospital chapel opened, and I said, I'll go to the chapel. I'm going to look for the priest. Fortunately, when I went to the priest's office, in fact, I went and knocked and entered, and I told him, Father, I have been told that I have cancer. And the priest told me, now it's only 5 minutes to 1, and exactly at 1, I'm starting the mass. But just sit down. You don't know how accommodated I felt. I talked to him. I told him I've been told I have breast cancer. I'm choked. I don't know what to do. But that priest really gave me hope. He talked to me to an extent of telling me it's not even a must that you do the whole process of treatment. They will keep checking on you if it have cleared before you finish those chemo sessions. They will just release you. You don't have to finish all of them. So he gave me a lot of hope, and I felt a different person. Finally, he told me, now I'm starting the mass. And he told me, just join us in the mass. But I joined the mass. But he told me, before we entered into the mass, he told me, what I'll do tomorrow, I will celebrate mass for you. And because today is already booked, so tomorrow it will be your day. And he wrote my name in his diary. So I felt so much accommodated. I felt like I have poured all what was bothering me, and here now we are entering into the church. We are starting the mass. Yes, it was, I was still, my mind was still creaking cancer when I was in mass. But Jesus talked to me, and he told me, I'm your shepherd. Psalms 23. Jesus said, I am your shepherd. And especially the verse 4. Even if you walk through the dark valleys of death, I'll fear no evil, for God is with me. That is the part that made me walk comfortably, because by the time the mass was ending, it's like a overhaul change of my life. Things were totally different. The person who entered in the church came out totally different, with a lot of hope, and I could see now, yes, this is cancer. I accept it there, and this is the journey I will start walking, and this is the journey that I will conquer. And that's how I started feeding my mind with a lot of positivity, with a lot of hope. And this is what made me come out victorious even to date. Now, the next session, I will get in touch with me. I will talking to you about how I broke the news to my family. And remember, in any kind of situation, in any kind of challenge, never say die.